GB News breakfast reporters Rosie Wright and Paul Hawkins invited showbiz reporter Kinsey Schofield to react to Meghan Markle's latest episode of her podcast Archetypes. The reporter revealed the Duchess of Sussex is becoming less and less interesting to the American audience. Rosie asked, "The strategy Shush is trying to use to sort of reset the narrative and define herself as who she wants to be seen, is that working in the States are people sort of favorable towards her?" "Not really," Kinsey replied. "I mean, I have to be honest with you, if you look at the numbers, her podcast, that very first episode, it blew up. I think people were very curious, but lately, Kim Kardashian is beating her on the Spotify charts. There's less and less interest in her, and I think American media has noticed this new direction in the narrative. I think we're pleasantly surprised that Shush is complaining less, but it's also coming off as insincere because it's such a 180. In the podcast, the Duchess appeared to hit back at recent claims made by royal biographers Tom Bower and Valentine Lowe. Kinsey explained how she felt the Duchess of Sussex was utilizing her podcast. She said, "This seems really transparent that Shush is utilizing American media. Shush is utilizing this podcast to respond kind of vaguely to accusations that both Tom Bower and Valentine Lowe have made against her in their recent books. She wants you to know that Shush is not a bully. Shush is just an assertive woman, and you're going to have to come to your own conclusions on whether or not that's the truth. She's clearly using this podcast as a vehicle to respond to some of those accusations in a way that's not as blatant as a sit-down Oprah interview. But she's trying to paint a picture of who she wants the world to see her as through this podcast." Kinsey claimed the Duchess is using the celebrities she invites onto her podcast to elevate herself.